Shepherds kept their watching, or silent flocks by night. Behold, throughout the heavens there shone a holy light. Oh, 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 tell it on the mountain, over the hills and everywhere you go. Tell it on the mountain that Mary's baby is not just an ordinary baby. Tell him the Savior is born. Oh, he's born. The shepherds feared and trembled when low above the earth rang out the angel chorus that hailed our Savior's birth. Go tell it on the mountain, over the hills and everywhere you go. Go tell it on the mountain that Mary's baby is not just an ordinary baby. Tell him the Savior is born. Oh, he's born. Down in a lonely manger, the humble Christ was born. God sent us salvation that blessed Christmas morn. Oh, 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 and go tell it on the mountain, over the hills and everywhere go. Go tell it on the mountain that Mary's baby is not just an ordinary baby. He's not just an ordinary baby. He's not just an ordinary baby. Tell him the Savior is born. The Savior is born. He's born. No. I don't want a lot for Christmas. There is just one thing I need. I don't care about the presents underneath the Christmas tree. I just want you for my own, more than you could ever know. Make my wish come true. All I want for Christmas is you. I don't need to hang my stocking there upon the fireplace. Santa Claus will make me happy with a toy on Christmas Day. I just want you for my own, more than you could ever know. Make my wish come true. All I want for Christmas is you. Oh, I won't ask for much this Christmas. I won't even wish for snow. I'm just gonna keep on waiting underneath the mistletoe. I will make a list and send it to the North Pole for Saint Nick. I won't even stay awake to hear those magic reindeer click, 'cause I just want you here tonight, holding on to me so tight.
Evening, everybody! Nice to see you all. You know what? Strangely, wonderfully, it's looking a little like Christmas. I don't know about you, but certainly in this room it is. Oh, it's beginning to look a lot. Oh, hold on! Stop! Where's my microphone, Sue?
I don't know.
Do you know where it is? It's in the loo. Give me that microphone. Here we go. Try again. Sue's going to get the microphone. What in the beginning?
Oh, it's beginning to look a lot like Christmas everywhere you go. Take a look at the 5 and 10. It's glistening once again with candy canes and silver lanes that glow. Oh, it's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. Toys in every store, but the prettiest sight to see is the holly that will be on your own front door. A pair of hop-along boots and a pistol that shoots is the wish of Bonnie and Ben. And dolls who will talk and will go for a walk is the hope of Janice and Jen. And Mom and Dad can hardly wait for school to start again. Oh, it's beginning to look a lot like Christmas everywhere you go. There's a tree in the Grand Hotel, one in the park as well. It's the sturdy kind that doesn't mind the snow. Come on, dance for me, baby. Oh, it's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. Soon the bells will start, and the thing that will make them ring is the carol that you sing right within your heart. A pair of hop-along boots and a pistol that shoots is the wish of Bonnie and Ben. Dolls who will talk and will go for a walk is the hope of Janice and Jen. And Mom and Dad can hardly wait for school to start again. It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas everywhere you go. Oh, take a look at the 5 and 10. It's glistening once again with candy canes and silver lanes that glow. Let it snow, let it snow. It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. Toys in every store, but the prettiest sight to see is the holly that will be on your own front door. A pair of hop-along boots and a pistol that shoots is the wish of Bonnie and Ben. A dolls who will talk and will go for a walk is the hope of Janice and Jen. And Mom and Dad can hardly wait for school to start again. Play it for me, Mom! Come on now! All the way up in here! Well, it's beginning to look a lot like Christmas everywhere you go. Take a look at the 5 and 10. Well, it's glistening once again with candy canes and silver lanes that glow. It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. Toys in every store, but the prettiest sight to see is the holly that will be on your own
Well, there's nothing like a good start, and that was nothing like a good start.
Well, I think that has to be the quote of the season. The microphone is in the toilet. Thank you.
Do you know what?
Thank
okay,
you.
everybody, just so that you know that Sue gave me 2 minutes and 36 seconds, and she said, "You got 2 minutes 36 seconds."
I'm going to the loo, he said.
I said, "I rushed to the loo because we've been rehearsing in here." Mark, where's Mark? Where is he?
Head slightly.
Sorry?
Move your head slightly so that you're in the hat.
Oh, that.
There we are.
Oh, that's the joke.
That's the joke. I was sent off to try and find your Christmas hat, but I couldn't find it.
No, I can't find it either. Are you moving it around now? She's got superimposed a Christmas hat on top of me. You can't see it from there. Exactly. Right, so
can I just say, Mark, welcome to the chaos, as
Good to be here. Thank you.
Are you on?
Am I on? Yeah.
He's on.
Yeah,
switched it on.
Didn't test that one, did we? Didn't test that.
You're all technical and everything, aren't you?
Yeah.
It's extraordinary. How are you, Marcus? I haven't seen you for nearly a year now. Since I think
it?
the last Christmas gig we did.
Was it really?
It's been a year.
Yeah.
Because
Crikey.
you've been away on tour and all the rest of it, and I thought I'd never see you again. I thought that was it.
We live in hope.
Yeah, well,
it's good.
You've been a busy boy. We'll talk about all of that in a bit. But why don't we sing one more song before we get into thing, and we'll do a little bit of what's that?
I just want to say, Sharon Wilson's written in saying, what I want to know is, why do you need a microphone in the toilet?
Well, okay. The thing is, Sharon.
Gag.
So just I know this is to just explain. This travels with me because it's got no wires. You see, so it travels with me. So I always take it because it's a safety thing. So I have to. I'm an old man. I've got to go to the toilet every now and again. Leave me alone. So I went to the loo and put it on the loo and then I rushed out to get my hat in the car, which was when we were on tour. So there we go. And this one, I love doing a bit of Christmas stuff, Christmas shtick. And this one, we'll do a little bit of ragtime. I'm dreaming of a white Christmas with some piano solos from the man himself, Mark Edwards.
Yes, I do think that there are a few keys he's not played yet. So.
Yeah. Oh, Sue, isn't it time you said something?
No, I'm saving that for later.
Do a few because let's be honest. Go on, let's get it.
No, what was I
No,
gonna
go on.
say?
Say it. No, please say it. Just say one once. Oh, Mark, it's so good to have finally, piano's being played, a real pianist in the room. All right, that's all she says all year. So it's
not
good
that
to
he's
have you, Mark.
bitter and twisted at all.
No, it's not since I bought the third piano. She doesn't like that. That's what's really annoying her. Right, Mark.
Right, on to the next one.
Let's go. I'm dreaming. Click your fingers while you're out. Repeat it one more time. I'm dreaming of a white Christmas, just like the ones I used to know, where the treetops glisten and children listen to hear sleigh bells in the snow. Oh, I'm dreaming of a white Christmas, with every Christmas card I write. May your days be merry and bright, and may all your Christmases be white. Off you go, Mark.
Christmas, just like the ones I used to know, where the treetops they glisten and children they listen to hear the sleigh bells in the snow. Oh, and I'm dreaming of a white Christmas, with every Christmas card I write. May your days be merry and bright, and may all your Christmases, all your Christmases be, all your Christmases be white. Be white. And may all your Christmases be one more. Thank you. Just because jazz players cannot finish, and next chord. Go and have a cup of tea. Bravo, sir. Bravo. Are we having some nice responses from people tonight?
Oh, yes. Owen Lamb said, more tinkling, exclamation mark.
More tinkling. Well, that's fun. Do you know?
And as John Dick said, he's on tonight. He said he just makes it look so easy, just sitting there playing.
Yeah, just playing away.
Yeah.
And I do, mate. I was talking to Bryn. He came in. He said something. He said always found the guitar a very hard instrument to play. And I was talking to somebody else who was playing the guitar, and they said, well, guitar is a difficult. You've got to get these shapes, and everything's difficult. Actually, it's a difficult instrument to hold, and you've got to. And as you get older, but I find it more difficult to keep the shapes. My hand goes into cramp or something. But the piano, it does lie under the hands more, doesn't it? It seems to be. Even as you get older, you're still able to move the fingers. Do you ever find you're finding life more difficult with chops? Yeah.
The guitar is difficult, isn't it? It involves a lot of pain, doesn't it? Because you're stretching into unnatural shapes and the calluses. I mean, it's steel string guitars, very, very painful on the hands. If you don't, and if you leave it alone for a few weeks, and it will go soft again.
Everything goes, And
Uh,
the piano, I find actually
you don't really have a lot of pain. I mean, you have to sort of stretch a bit, but you don't have a sort of pain.
No. I suppose there is this when I used to do a lot of classical. It'd be pain across the top of that tension when you were playing like this, gripping almost gripping the piano.
Yeah.
But did you always find piano playing easy as a boy?
I don't know if it's easy, but I always gravitated to the piano whenever there was a piano in sight, wherever I was, in a hotel or a pub or on holiday at camp or anywhere. It was just like this magical toy. And yes, so I was just sort of, they sort of say, some people say, you know your instrument from a very young age, or the instrument picks you. I don't know if that's true, but for me it was definitely this sort of world of noise and adventure, and
a playground, isn't it, in a way?
I think the hard thing was for me it was always the classical music. That was the thing when you had to go. The hard thing was having to practice scales, not play what you wanted to play, but having to play things that you were told to play as a young.
And that is tricky. Boy. I mean, I remember exactly that, going through the graded exams, you were going through, and as you got through to grade 8, you had to play every scale and arpeggio in the system, so that you could play Mozart, Chopin, and Liszt, and all the rest of it. But it seemed so pointless at the time. of course, it's difficult to kind of say that to young people. You've got to learn D flat major because you are going to learn it. There's a theory that I had was which that a piano teacher was talking to me the other day and said, rather than starting kids on C major and then you go to D major and then you go to E major, going through the one sharp, then one flat, then two sharps, then two, three, all of those kind of technical things. Whether you start them on that pentatonic, the black notes, actually getting them to spread their hands around the black notes so that the black notes don't become unfamiliar territory later. Because I know that you quite like D flat major. You like the flat keys, don't you?
Yeah. I love that thing. Do you know that thing, Fantasy in E flat minor? How to fake playing a piano.
Go on then.
I've often shown this bit. If people they can't play the piano at all, and you want to look like you can, you just use the black notes, don't you?
Yeah, go on.
So all you have to do is just avoid white notes and a few basic patterns, and you can't play a wrong note because they all go together.
All go together. Yeah, go on.
So if you just do. That's what my dad used to do.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Fantasy in E flat, Fantasy in G flat. But it's a great trick, isn't it? Because people have a few chords around, people think, you're
marvellous. Yeah. Strangely, my dad always played the black notes as well. Yeah. He couldn't play the white notes. He couldn't play the white notes. He could only play the black notes. Yeah. Whereas we were brought up only with the white. You started with the white notes and went on.
Yeah, they discovered that trick, didn't they? Early, yeah.
Yeah, they did. How to fake it.
Yeah.
Fake it till you make it. Well, I mean that's. Pretty impressive. I know you gravitate, you talk about this, but one of the things that I think is always so impressive about you and the way that we've worked together over the many years now, many albums and things, is your, and I don't know whether people understand, the harmonic knowledge, the language that you have is quite extensive. And how did you develop that when you were a kid?
I think I was just drawn to it, to like the chords, and when you're hearing Beatles songs and pop songs back in the 70s. Remember when you used to have lots of chords in pop songs?
Oh yeah, more than three. You mean? Yeah.
So things like Mr. Blue Sky or that.
Yeah.
Was it? And there was something about chords that are those. Before I ever noticed lyrics, really, I don't know what it was, but I used to go and buy those sheet music.
Yes.
Like you go and buy like one song, the latest pop song, as a piece of sheet music, and you get it back, and it'd be written out, and it would have the chords shapes at the top for guitar or whatever. Yeah. But getting those and learn, I just loved messing around with chords, and that was the sort of nuts and bolts of the music, isn't it? When you're getting inside. How things are built out, how things are constructed, without realising it. You're sort of taking in the sort of the
if I said to you, demonstrate. So if I picked Mother Mary Comes to Me, that's Mother Mary comes to me, seeking words of wisdom, let it be. If I just put the thing down and let me see, it'd be something like G with it or F. Mother Mary comes to me, speaking words of wisdom, let it be. Whisper words of wisdom, let it be. Let it be, let it be, let it be, let it be. There will be an answer. Let it be. Now improvise on that. Just go on that tune. chords, we were rich. There were lots of changes when Elton John was writing his stuff or Billy Joel was writing his stuff.
Yeah.
There were lots of stuff that was happening.
Yeah.
Why do you think? Because in a lot of the worship music that's come out, we've used it. Often we said, keep it simple. Let's keep it simple. You and I have often talked about this. What is it about then that we often with hymns, old hymns, there would be fantastic chord progressions and some big, real, great block chords that would change almost every single note. There would be a change of chord. And now what we do is we go, less is more. And so we just do a 1 and 1, 4 and 5, 1 chord 4, 5. Why do you think that is? What's that? Why have we lessened the stuff that we?
I mean, it's a massive question, and it's something that we've seen happen over the last 30 years in pop music, where you've got that chord. I mean, that's what we just sang.
Yeah.
There's millions of songs written on those 4 chords, and then there's the. I think there's something. I mean, without going into a major, there's many myriad. I think one thing is that it's just immediately familiar.
Yes.
And it's purely financial way of people being able to immediately hear a song and that go. It feels very comfortable,
straight to the head, and
there's nothing challenging, nothing unexpected. And a lot of the best music takes a little bit more, might surprise you. And with pop music, I think is this because a lot of the melodies are also based, as we might have talked before, on this.
Yeah, 3 blind mice. Yeah. 3 blind mice.
And you've astonishing number of pop songs based on like 3 notes, and then maybe goes up to the 5th. But that's it. I mean, compared to a melody, one of the old hymns,
melody or a Puccini melody, exactly.
And it's. I think it's something to do with people hear that in the supermarket, they hear it, and it's just immediately sounds like, oh, I like that because I've heard that before. They think they know it already, and by the second or third time they've heard the chorus, it's totally ingrained in there.
Okay, so what is it then that when we get together, we do the first tune we did is beginning to look a lot like Christmas. What we did is we just messed around and had fun. I think there's that aspect that's missing from a lot of fun and experimentation and trying things, just seeing what happens and seeing people's faces when you do something different.
Yeah,
you put a different rhythm to it, a different. That's what we. Do you remember that we sat in the studio and went that we had a lot of fun, and then we're hoping that that transmits to people and a smile comes to them because it's different to what they've heard.
Yeah,
something like that. Let's do Mistletoe and Wine. To do something like that one, and we'll get onto it in a second because I always like to hear you as a jazzer. You approach life very differently to classical music. Well, you do. You never remember any arrangements, and because you're constantly thinking about the next thing. But when you come to, that's what it is. So we come to these after 2 years, and you've got the arrangements. You brought them with you, and it's and you're going through and you're thinking, what did I do here?
Yeah.
And then it all comes back. Here we go. Child is the King. But that's about speed, isn't it?
The child is a king, the carolers sing, the old has passed, there's a new beginning. Dreams of Santa, dreams of snow, fingers numb, faces aglow. It's Christmas time, mistletoe and wine, children singing Christian rhyme, with logs on the fire and logs on the tree. A time to rejoice in the good that we see. Boom. A time for living, a time for believing, a time for trusting, not deceiving. love and laughter and joy ever after. Ours for the taking, just follow the master. Well, it's Christmas time, mistletoe and wine, children singing Christian rhyme, with logs on the fire and gifts on the tree. A time to rejoice in the good that we see. A time for giving, a time for getting, a time for forgiving and for forgetting. Christmas is love, Christmas is peace. A time for hating and fighting to see. It's Christmas time, join me soon. Mistletoe and wine, children singing Christian rhyme, with logs on the fire and gifts on the tree. A time to rejoice in the good that we sing again. It's Christmas time, mistletoe and wine, children singing Christian rhyme, with logs on the fire and gifts on the tree. A time to rejoice in the good. That one more time. Oh well, it's Christmas time, mistletoe and wine, children sing Christian rhyme, with logs on the fire and gifts on the tree. A time to rejoice in the good that we see. Silent nights, holy night, all is calm, all is bright. Christmas time, holy night, all is calm, all is bright. Oh, little town of Bethlehem, how still we see thee lie. It's Christmas, it's Christmas.
Nice, isn't it?
Lovely.
A nice memory. That was, do you know what? That was 2 years ago that we went to the studio and did this. It feels very odd, doesn't it, to me, to think that time passes so quickly. I haven't seen you for a whole year.
I can't believe it.
It's like, now, you've been doing a lot of touring with Casey Mellier. Was that part of your year? Tell me about that.
Yes,
And
we
who-
did earlier in the year. Yeah, we did.
Where did you go?
We went to Eastern Europe. Did about 10 weeks in the spring.
8 to 10 weeks.
In the spring, and then we did a month in the summer. Yeah, we did Estonia and Lithuania. We normally do quite a lot in Poland and
Wow.
Germany and East Germany.
And that's stadium
France
gigs mainly,
and-
isn't it? It's big.
A lot of it's a mixture. There's some sort of arenas in Eastern Europe. Go from sort of ice hockey arenas to classical concert halls. We do quite a lot of classical venues in Europe. Yeah, which are really nice
That's
to
nice,
do,
isn't it?
aren't they?
Like the
You
festival
know.
hall type because they're perfect.
Yeah, well, they have
acoustics.
lovely. I mean, if you you turn up in a ice hockey stadium in Gdansk or something, and your dressing room is a little locker room with a few plastic chairs, and if you turn up at the Vienna opera house, then you've just got a beautiful backstage area with Steinway pianos and gorgeous dressing rooms and massage rooms. So it really varies day to day. But we do that, and we do a lot of outdoor. And actually, in the summer, we do a sort of festival run in Europe. They do these lovely festivals, which are not like loads of bands on every day, like a sort of Glastonbury. It's one band each night, and they're all in beautiful settings, mainly in town squares or at castles or in the middle of a forest, and they set up a whole stage for the summer, and then each week they'll have 2 or 3 bands. Circuit. And they're all gorgeous, lovely settings, and you
lovely
play
audiences.
as the sun's going down. You normally play, so it starts. It's kind of the gloaming, and everyone comes in, has some champagne, and and then the sun sets. But actually, this year if you remember the summer when we were out in August, and the bottom half of Europe was in an absolute heat wave. And the top half was just torrential rain. Every single gig. Normally these are all these beautiful summer evenings. Every gig was absolutely raining. Some of them it was pouring with rain when we turned up at 8 a.m. on the tour bus till midnight, and it's still raining. And everyone's very good. They bring their cagoules.
So they come to the gig.
Yeah. And
you're under.
We're under cover, obviously, on the stage. But everyone brings their cagoules, and sometimes the people are sitting there waiting for 2 or 3 hours before the gig, and they're absolutely bedraggled. But they're amazing.
But they love it.
They sit there and.
Do you know what? One of the things I remember, just reminding of this. I did the Magic Flute. We were on it was Covent Garden Festival many years ago. And they said suddenly it was the London Mozart Players, and I was playing the part of Papageno, which was my big role. And they said we're going to do it at the Hampton Court Festival. And so I didn't. Hampton Court Festival, I didn't know what it was. It was about 3,500 people in the arena. They do it so you come out, and it's in the centre of Hampton Court. Okay?
Right.
The palace right in the heart. And so it was in the midsummer. It was all fine. Everybody expected it to be fine. And halfway through, we're performing, of course, all the instruments. I mean, the orchestra would never play under any circumstances in the open air. They just never would do that. They've got Stradivarius violins and various other things, and they would never get wet. But we, as the players, as the singers, we would be expected to do whatever the weather came. And of course, it got very dangerous on the set. But what was interesting was that we did one, and it absolutely started pouring down. I mean, torrential rain, and the audience suddenly they all started to put their umbrellas up, and of course people started shouting whilst the theatre was happening, whilst Mozart was being played, and they did "Der Vogelfänger bin ich Justus," and I was singing away, and all the umbrellas went up. Of course, nobody could see anything, and so I just stopped the orchestra. I just said, it was Jane Glover conducting, and I said, Jane. And I said, ladies and gentlemen, I'm speaking as Papageno here. And I said, if you put down your umbrellas, you might get wet, but you're going to have a lovely experience. And they looked around, and they put it down. They got soaking wet, but they didn't care. They cheered and they laughed, because actually it was one of us. And I said, you will remember it even more as the time you got wet. And that's what the management afterwards said, how did you know? I said, do you know what? It just came. I thought everybody was screaming at each other. So in a public performance, put you down the umbrella. Why are you so high? Put down. We can't see anything. It was that kind of thing. So I love those occasions when the audience, something goes wrong like that. And we don't normally perform in the outdoor. Only one other occasion, which was I was doing one opera in it was Grange. What was the other place? Open air. So
you mean before it was Grange?
Before it was Grange. Anyway, it had an open air and the stage was Garsington. Well done. It was Garsington.
Well, my daughter was in the opera there last year, if you remember.
Well, there we are. So she was. I forgot that. So Garsington. But the stage was completely smooth. And so when it rained, it became like an ice skating rink. And so when we were always meant to run on. I was meant to run on. And as I came on, I just skidded from one side to the other. And people and I was going, "Way!" like this. But the audience loved this. They thought it was they thought we'd staged it. It was one of those things. Anyway. Yeah. But did Katie just keep going? No problems with that?
Yeah. We did on the last night actually of the tour. It was absolutely blowing a gale, and it started to because the wind was coming in the direction. and you could see in the lights it was just torrential, and she was kind of, her hair was all soaking wet. She was like windswept. It was like sort of a Titanic moment. So at the front of the stage, against the elements, and it was like, well, this is really memorable. Like, it was about the last 10 minutes of the gig. This storm came up, and then the water starts getting on the keyboard. You start getting a bit worried. People are running out with sort of blankets over the.
No, you can't do electrical gear. You could have all kinds of problems. I mean, that's the problem with it, isn't it? Wind is one of those as well, because if you got music, orchestras, they clip it on. But if they then starts blowing up, then you're in trouble, because if you haven't got the chords set in your head, but you've got charts, you don't play. You don't play from charts. You play everything.
But I remember being on a gig with Les Moyer.
Yes.
On the
bass player.
And Christian producer.
Yes.
And doing that's the Sunday morning program on Radio 2. So it was the sort of like live from somewhere.
Yeah.
And we were at Blackpool Beach.
No altitude for fresh air and fun.
And we were just about to start, and there was a massive gust of wind, and all of his music just went out over the sea, just right at the beginning of the live broadcast. There's probably about 1 million people listening. Right over, there's absolutely
That was it. It was gone.
Yeah.
And what did he do? Made it up.
Yeah.
Yeah. You do, don't you?
The show must go on.
No, it must go on. And you're going out. You're going out to where? You're going out and on Tuesday. You're flying out.
Romania. Yeah.
Romania. Well, you're going to have a great.
That's an outdoor gig.
Really?
They said it's freezing. The temperatures are 0 at the moment, so they've said bring fingerless gloves. Yeah, it's a closing ceremony, some big sort of festival in the town. So it's an outdoor stage, and we're going to be in coats and fingerless gloves. And
that's what you want, isn't it? Christmas time. What's time? Why don't we play? Why don't we do one of the songs that we recorded on Lockdown Sessions 1? If you remember the one, we had a lot of fun when we were doing these albums. I think it was during lockdown, if you remember, and we did. We went in. I think this is the first song we recorded, which was Autumn Leaves, and. It was. I think we just went in. I hadn't done anything for ages. Had I had the operation or not, Sue? No, I hadn't. No, I hadn't had the operation. I was feeling quite bad, and we went in, and it was Arnie Soberg and yourself and Darren E. Beckett, and we were in there, and we just went in different places, and we went, why not just give it? Didn't do any rehearsals, and just went in and did it. And it was one of those memorable moments when we all came into the room afterwards. And listen, and we all went, I think that's it. I think that's fine. Next, which is that's jazz, though, to be fair, isn't it? That's the nature of jazz. It is. Right, let's try it. Why don't we give it a shot? And this is going to be the expert, wonderful solo playing, and do a double solo, so I can hear your magnificent. We did that kind of slow to begin with, and then you pick up into a more Bill Evans. And then we come back into the something like that. Let's improv it and see what happens. A minor, I think
A minor.
It's A minor. All right, A minor.
You remember the first chord A minor or the key of A minor?
The key of A minor.
C,
Yeah.
So first chord D minor.
D minor. Da, 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 ding. Yeah, that one. Remember, dun, dun, dun. Do you want me to come and help show you? Do you want me to show you? The falling leaves drift by my window. The falling leaves are red and gold. I see your lips, the summer kisses, the sunburn hands I used to hold.
since you went away. The days grow longer, and soon I'll hear old winter's song. But I miss you most of all, my darling, you. When autumn leaves start to fall, days grow long, and soon I'll hear old winter's song. But I miss you most of all, my darling, you. When the autumn leaves start to fall.
Wow, that was sublime.
That is
absolutely sublime.
Beautiful. You are a. I've often said this to people. I don't quite know often what to say about being in the presence of the harmony, the knowledge that Mark has in his head. And when you sit, you can only those of you who are musicians out there only imagine what it's like, because constantly I'm listening. Oh right, he's going. Oh, he's going there. Oh, he's going there. He's going there. And I've often asked you to try and explain what that harmonic language is. It like it's like I speak a bit of Italian, but it's like having idiomatic idiomatic Italian. You speak it like a native, and that's your harmony knowledge. The way you work with those chords that you messed around, you then develop an idea. Is that how it happens? You just develop an idea and keep going with that idea?
Yeah, you have vocabulary, don't you, in your mind? It's exactly like a language. Yeah, it is a language. And I mean, it's interesting because actually one of the events that maybe we'll touch on.
Yeah, we'll touch on. Yeah,
this year. With one of them, we talked about improvising, but it was actually a poet. Sorry, is that?
Totally.
It was a lady who was a poet and an art therapist and a jazz singer, and also one of my daughters who's a a dancer, and we were talking about improvisation quite a lot, and because I think often people are afraid of it because they think you are just plucking things out of thin air, and you're not at all. You actually have a vocabulary, and you have lots of things that you've worked on your own in your own time, and then you're drawing on that when you come. So you're improvising, but you're not just creating. Everything is a reference to things that have gone before, and with jazz, it's a particular musical language, series group of chords and scales. But I mean that when you break it down into chords and scale, that's the sort of nuts and bolts. Really, it's like, as you said, that's just like the grammar. You don't you have to learn the syntax and the phraseology and all of that. So, but it's a language that you learn orally by listening to records and learning, and then you internalize it. And the idea is that once you can speak that language, then then you execute it. So it's because often people say about it's muscle memory, and you could just have shapes. As we talk about scales. But that is really the antithesis of true improvisation, because it shouldn't be about muscle memory. It should be purely coming. It's literally like you just sing a tune in your head. Anyone whistles a tune, but you can immediately play that on an instrument because you've just learned that vocabulary, the connection between, as you sing it in your head, you're just singing it on a, and then it becomes so if anybody could do that, if anybody could just sort of whistle a tune, and it's the same as they play it on an instrument, the same as whistling it, then it's just how much vocabulary, how many tunes you learn, how many different phrases, how many different moves you learn that are in your head that you can then bring out. And of course, they're all within jazz. They're all often linked to a particular chord sequence, or to that you're using those phrases and that language on a particular tune. So you've got a framework that everyone's playing, but within that framework, you are completely free. You're free to do anything you like, really, but you tend to keep it within sort of.
But you never, if I said to you, because those people who've got the records. So, any comments that are coming? No, nothing. They're just people listen. So, just put out anything that you feel is, shout it out. But you will never hear you play the same thing pretty much twice. So you do that song with me. You've done it a number of times, and that was completely different to anything that we've done before. So that's different to the recorded version. You might stay with the recorded version a little bit within the framework again, but you change chords again. So some of them, you put a chord 2 in there, you put with the major third, you put start. I'm not going to talk technical with all of you out there, but so I was listening, I was thinking, right, so I'll change now. So I then go where you're going. So you turn left, then I find myself going left. All right, but then you listen to what I'm doing, you wait for me when you're at the junction. And it's like going down that road and then travelling, and you're listening to each other constantly. And I think that's what's fascinating to me about jazz. And so for people that will say we rehearsed this, well, we basically went through it once, but that wasn't what we played when we went through it. It's just basically,
the framework is there, but the details within that.
Why don't we do that song? That the All I Want for Christmas Is You, because where is it?
There's an interesting thing that I was talking with an actor about this the other day. Well, with the director actually. And what song am I looking for?
All I Want for Christmas.
Oh yeah.
Go on, you're talking about an actor. Go on.
Yeah, and he was saying within teaching improvisation within acting.
2 pages. Yeah. Go on.
And how you can start off talking about sort of role playing or. Where you have to say yes to everything that's presented to you in acting. If you start improvising, somebody says, we're going to go here to the shop, and you say yes and you keep building on this thing, and how from one little phrase or germ of an idea you could give that to 2 or 3 different groups of actors, and you would end up in completely different places in the world. You might end up in a beach in the Caribbean, or you could end up in a coffee bar in New Zealand. And with I was just thinking with music, whether if you, in terms of improvise free music, of whether you ever use that in a musical concept of saying to people, this is something to improvise on, a little kernel of something, and then letting people be completely free with it, and what sort of style, what sort of piece of music
you end up with.
You could end up with very different thing.
But
I don't know. It was just an interesting.
No, it's an interesting idea.
Those
We've now. What time is it? Let's have a look. Oh yeah, we got it. So look. When you came up with this idea, from this is in lockdown sessions 3, and it was one that I wasn't. If you remember, I wasn't convinced of. That you wanted to do this song, and I said, "Oh, I'm not sure. I don't think I can do it." Mariah Carey does it, and it's not, And you said, "Well, we'll make it into much more kind of a ballady love song more than a dan 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 dan." And you changed it into one of my favourite tracks on the whole album, and into the treatment that you give it now. And I think you all have to understand the energy and the expertise that goes into this. Not only does he thinks about these things, but he also manipulates the technology so that you get the sounds and the contemporary sound that was quite not hip hop, but it was very much the sound that was very current. And we like it because it's got rhythm. We're gonna play it with the track, and then you improvise alongside it and see what happens.
Well, this is one. Yeah, I mean, I was just going to say it's the chords. Because you'd always heard this song as this.
Yes.
And it's so fast, everything's flying by.
Yes.
And it's not particularly emotional. It's an up. But it was those. And it sounded to me like a Stevie Wonder song or something.
Yes.
If you play it slowly and soulfully, it's like, there's all this beautiful.
Becomes like talking book, yeah.
And again, it was down to a lot of it was down. It's a lovely melody, and it's a beautiful chord sequence. Yeah. And often with songs like that, you think if that's in there, when you slow them down or deconstruct them a bit, you bring out a whole different emotion to the lyric.
So we've tried that, and
that didn't work.
So let's see what we can do with this. Here we go. Thanks, Rachel. So we're going to play along with the backing track and see what happens. We turn that around again. For Christmas, there is just one thing I need. I don't care about the presents underneath the Christmas tree. I just want you for my own, more than you could ever know. Make my wish come true. All I want for Christmas is you. I don't want to hang my stocking there upon the fireplace. Santa Claus will make me happy with a toy on Christmas Day. I just want you for my own, more than you could ever know. Make my wish come true. All I want for Christmas is you. Oh, I won't ask for much this Christmas. I won't even ask for snow. I'm just gonna keep on waiting underneath the mistletoe. I will make a list and send it to the North Pole for Saint Nick. I won't even stay awake to hear those magic reindeer click. I just want you here tonight, holding on to me so tight. What more can I do? All I want for Christmas is you. All the lights
there. I can hear everyone is singing. I hear those sleigh bells ringing. Santa, won't you bring me home the one I need? Won't you bring my baby to me? I don't want a lot for Christmas. This is all I'm asking for. I just want to see my baby standing right outside my door. Oh, I just want you for my own, more than you could ever know. Make my wish come true. All I want for Christmas is you, and all I want for Christmas is you, and all I want for Christmas is you. Enjoy that, Susan?
I did enjoy that. I have to say, I agree with you. It's not been one of my favourite songs, particularly at Christmas, and but I just love it on the album. I think what you've done with it is awesome. It's just unlocked.
You've done your
it in a
treatment.
completely different way. Completely different.
It's all about the vocal. It's all about the vocal.
Yeah.
Of course.
All about the vocal.
Oh,
Actually, can I just say, a lot of people are commenting on the fact that the two of you together, watching the two of you together, have such synergy and just batting backwards and forwards. They're really enjoying that. Really
I think
enjoying
it is
partnership.
interesting over a partnership of how many years? I don't even know, 15, 17 years. We've done so many albums now. Recordings. We fight like cat and dog in the studio sometimes. We go mad.
Surely not. Surely
It's
not.
not an overstatement there.
Yes.
Well, I know, but it's sometimes we do. And I think actually when we're going, and I get very tense in the studio. There's always studio time. And if I can't get it right, I remember when I was doing this, the last few albums, I couldn't sing. I was really finding vocal work almost impossible, if you remember.
Yeah.
And I couldn't sing above an E flat without, nearly killing myself. And I could feel when I was recording the first time, when we did the first album, Lockdown Sessions. And by then I was quite poor. I was a lot of the top
quite poorly
scenes,
by then.
I was quite a lot.
But I seem to remember Mark was very patient with you.
I didn't have any choice. It's so difficult. No, it was. It was. We had to face things, but it was. It was quite a profound time, really.
It was profound, actually.
I mean,
I
there was
remember
that
you
sort of like hanging over you as well. What was coming out with Operation and making that record and thinking we need to get this stuff
Let's get
down.
it done. Yeah.
Yeah, and
So I was convinced that was the last thing I'd ever record. That would be the last thing I ever did, actually.
I don't know whether you remember, Mark, but we were doing a concert at your church, and that day we'd been to see the consultant, and the consultant had hit us with this news that the transplant had to happen in some way, shape or form. If Jonathan was to have any kind of future at all, there would have to be a transplant. And the best possible thing that could have happened that day was to come down and for you two to be making music all night long. It was just such a fantastic opportunity for you two to just do your stuff, and for Jonathan just to get his head back together again. Really,
it was a head game thing, and I couldn't get my head in the game. Because
but you were absolutely on form that night, though. I must say. Do you remember when we did?
Oh, we did. We did.
Absolutely.
It was
We did Autumn Leaves.
We also did
My Funny Valentine.
Valentine.
Oh,
that's
right. Yeah.
Oh, that was awesome.
My Funny Valentine.
That
Just
was
play,
awesome.
just put it. But I'm going to plan that. But
Can I just remind you that you have someone?
oh yes, we've got Steve, haven't we? All right, Steve. I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to talk to Steve. We're going to put a video. We're going to come back to this, and
Rachel, can you put
My
the
Funny
video on?
Valentine. Steve, let's put a video on, and we'll see you in a minute. Since the day the angel came, it seemed that everything had changed. The only certain thing was the child that moved within, on the road that would not end, winding down to Bethlehem, so far away from home. Just a blanket on the floor of a vacant cattle store, but there the child was born. She held him in her arms, and as she laid him down to sleep, she wondered, will it always be so bitter yet so sweet? And did she see there in the straw by his head a thorn? And did she smell there in the air on that starry night? Then the words of ancient seers tumble down the centuries. A virgin shall conceive, God with his Prince of Peace. Land of sorrow, strangest name, O Joseph, there it comes again. So bitter yet so sweet. And did she see there in the straw by his head a thorn? And did she smell there in the air on that starry As she watched him through the years, her joy was mingled with her tears, and she'd feel it all again, the glory and the shame. And when the miracles began, she wondered, who is this man? And where will this all end? Till against the darkening sky, the sun she loved was lifted high, and with his dying breath she heard him say, Father, forgive, and to the criminal beside, today with me in paradise. So bitter yet so sweet.
Am I on there?
Rachel will sort us out in a minute. Well, that was Thorns in the Straw. Just absolutely stunning. Beautiful song, beautiful arrangement, and beautifully sung by our JV. Now, all being well, we are going
in a second, we're going to
go on a Zoom to a good friend of ours who has been with us often in the Steinway room,
and will probably hopefully come back and join us again in the new year. Here he is, Mr. Steve. Mr. Steve Legg, there he is!
Hey.
Mr. Steve Legg, how are you? How art thou?
I'm in rude health, thank you, mate. Yourself?
Yeah, rude health. I mean, I love that phrase, rude health.
What
He
does
was
it
a
mean?
man. I'd think, hold on, weren't you supposed to be gone from us in October the something or the other?
September the 17th, yes. This is not a ghost, this is the real Steve Legg.
Well, we couldn't be more chuffed.
We
to see
are
you.
honestly, it's absolutely brilliant that you're still with us, mate. You are just, you do look a picture of health. It's really worrying. You look healthier than me and a lot younger than. Well, you are a lot younger than me.
Well, I am a lot younger.
Yeah, shut up. All right. Don't remind me of this. It's not fair. Anyway, Steve, you had a gig in last night in Sheffield. Was that right?
Yeah, I was meant to have two. A year ago, they booked me on the Friday the 1st for St Helens up in Merseyside. So I thought, I'm all this way, see if we can get another gig. So I found one with the Salvation Army in Sheffield, which I did considerably cheaper because I was getting my full fee for Monday. And then 2 weeks ago, they'd only sold 70 tickets. So they said, we decided to cancel St Helens. And you try to speak to these people. I know, you try to say, the last 2 weeks, that's when ticket sales go.
Yes, that's when they all go.
And of course, I've had 5 or 6 people contact me saying we were bringing a great big group along. Why aren't you there?
Yeah.
So,
do you know, it's
a wonderful time in Sheffield anyway.
Oh,
well that's fantastic. Hey, it's the way it works, isn't it? And people often they get cold feet, and they're not professional promoters. To be fair to them, they're doing their best. But what I am thrilled to see is that those of you who there are very few of you who don't know Steve Legg on this show now. He's been here so many times and taken the mick out of Sue so often. It's been refreshing. You have not cut her in half as you promised to do last time. But you'll do it. I know when you come back in. Will you come back in and join us in the new year?
I would love to.
It'll be great to have you back in and do some tricks. But also just talk about your life, because I think actually it's been up and down. Let's just say it's been a rather extraordinary journey for you, hasn't it?
It's been crazy. Last 2 years have been absolutely mad. Until 2 years ago, go to the doctor once every 10 years, maybe once every 15 years. And my file was so thin, you couldn't believe it. And then discovered I had cancer. And then 17th of April was told by the oncologist, after lots of treatment, lots of ops, and you guys have been following the journey and praying for me, which I so appreciate, was told on the 17th of April this year by a tearful oncologist that nothing had worked. And it was all palliative care from now on, and I'd have 5 months to go.
It's quite. I mean, I remember.
Shocking
We remember being with you when we heard that news in a restaurant down in Littlehampton, and I was just, I left the restaurant. I mean, I'll be honest with you, I was absolutely gutted. I mean, that because we've walked the journey of illness with you, and but that I didn't know what. The words failed me, if I'm honest.
Well, you were one of the first people I spoke to, John. I was told the news Monday the 17th of April and was very aware that I had 4 comedy gigs, the Thursday, the Friday, the Saturday, the Sunday. So I spoke to you, and I spoke to Ishmael and my friend Carl Beach, and it's all in the book. You're in the book.
Gosh, I've got to that bit yet.
The conversation that we had, and you all said, look, if you possibly can, go and do it. So I pulled myself together. I finally stopped crying on the Thursday morning because we had to tell our kids, I had to tell my parents. My parents are in their 80s, and my little brother died 2 years ago. So for them to lose 2 children, you just can't imagine it, can you?
No.
So I didn't eat for a week. I lost pounds. You can see my cheekbones. But on the Thursday, I went off to work, and I went off to do the gig. And it was wonderful, and I'm so glad I did. And we speak about choosing joy, and I've chosen joy in this journey for all these last months. And God,
how does she feel about that? How does she feel about that? I mean, I'm just
very
asking.
happy. She's a lovely lady. Big fan of yours, by the way. You know what? It's been amazing, and God has worked incredibly through all sorts of crazy situations. When I came off steroids, I was sweating profusely, and every gig I was doing, I asked for fans on stage, electric fans. And I don't really have many normal fans, electric fans. And there was one gig in the in Bromsgrove area, and it was so hot, and I said, please open all the windows and doors as well. And it was a fabulous gig. I still came off stage looking like Lee Everett, but the pastor wrote to me 3 weeks later, said, just to let you know, what a wonderful gig, but because the windows and doors were open, a lady was walking past the church with her son, heard all the laughter, came into the show, and she's been coming to church ever since. And you think, isn't this just like God? What an upside down kingdom that he could use the side effects of coming off steroids to bring people into church. And so we've seen God's hand at work throughout. I'm feeling great. I speak to my oncologist regularly. She can't believe I'm not even taking a paracetamol. I'm not taking anything apart from insulin, which isn't really a drug, is it? Because the immunotherapy killed my pancreas. So I'm not on anything. I'm feeling fit and well. We've had a wonderful weekend. I'm not allowed to drive, so I rely on roadies. My wonderful Becca drove me to Manchester, St Helens, Sheffield and back again. Wow. So it's great. Life is good.
She's a good woman, that woman. I tell you, what we would do without our good women, I have literally in my case, I have literally no idea. I wouldn't be here. So for that, we are very grateful to them. But we're so. I'm going to use the cliche, but I'm genuinely grateful to God to see you on our screen today, as looking as good as you do, and as looking as you've ever looked. And I think actually it's brilliant. You unbelievably, you have beaten us to it. We've had our book. We keep going, we're going to write the book, the third book. We're going to write the book. We're going to write the book. We're going to write the book. You've managed to get this book out in record time. What's it called? Where's it available? Tell us.
I did it in under a month. I was just, so many people said it's really inspirational, your story. I don't think it's inspirational. I just think I'm cracking on. I decided to choose joy, not to sit at home, feel sorry for myself, and to stay gigging and sharing this good news with other people. So about a month ago, started the book, and it is out, and it's called The Last Laugh, which works on many different levels. My friend Rob Parsons suggested that, so we absolutely love that. So that is out officially tomorrow. So I've got stock here, but what we've done, we want to reach a huge audience with this globally. So this is available on Amazon as well. And what we're saying to people, we've got a special deal for the community, because we so appreciate all the prayers. At the moment, if you go onto amazon.co.uk, search out The Last Laugh by me, Steve Legg. This is hard to do, but you have to do this in reverse, don't you? You've really got to think about where you put it. The book is free for another 24 hours in ebook form. So if you've got a Kindle, you can download it to that. If you don't have a Kindle, the Kindle app is free. So you can read it on your phone, on your laptop, you can read it on your iPad, because we really want people to review it. So for 24 hours, amazon.co.uk, look for Steve Legg, The Last Laugh, and you can order the ebook, and we'd love you to leave a review once you've done that. If you want the paperback, you can get it on Amazon. There's a hardback on Amazon as well if you want that. But if you're in the UK, order it from me, and I can sign it.
And when we get that, we're going to put the link up, but just tell us the link. What is the link for you, so people can write it down? It's on the screen. It's on the screen?
It's on the screen. It's jvlive.uk/The Last Laugh. And that will take you to the link.
Okay, well done. Well, thank you, Rachel. Well done, Rachel.
That was quick.
Rachel's
Can
amazing.
I just say, Steve, I'm about halfway through reading it, and it's a mixture. I'm moved to tears, and then all of a sudden I burst out laughing.
Good.
It's just it's very funny.
That is my aim, because I want people, everyone who's read it said it's made them laugh, it's made them cry as well. Yeah. It's made them think, and we literally just got back from Sheffield, as I said, 8 o'clock, and my elderly neighbours, Bob and Karen, gave them a copy. They have read the e-version already. They aren't believers. It's challenged them as well. So it's a great gift. I mean, we've had friends buy 10 copies to give to people.
Well, I'm planning to to buy it and give to various people, definitely. But I'm going to buy it from you so that you get the money. Rachel has just said we'll update the link soon to Steve's shop from Amazon, so she'll update it soon. That takes you to Amazon on that link, and then she'll update it so it goes to your shop.
And we would love people to review it, because the more reviews,
review it.
Yeah. We'll do it, Steve. It's been a pleasure. I've got to get back to Mark Edwards because he's equally interesting. Well, he's not equally interesting,
Steve.
But
I've been listening in. It sounds amazing. What a talented guy.
Exactly, it's sickening. However, we'll get you in the new year. Okay, we start getting back in February properly, and we'll get you back in the room and just doing your thing, telling your story. All right.
Wonderful. And just to say, I'm in Mansfield on Saturday gigging. So any of the guys, your guys up that way, Junction
Up
28 Church, which is Mansfield.
Junction 28 Church.
Junction 28.
They're this Saturday for a night of tricks and laughs and fun, and we'll have obviously copies of the book as well. So thanks for your support, guys. Keep praying.
Always.
Bless you.
Always.
Love
we
to
keep
Beck.
praying.
See you soon.
Okay, mate.
Cheers.
Bye.
Bye. I love Zoom, actually. It means you can do this kind of thing. And his story is quite phenomenal. And actually, it's a personal story of, near tragedy again. And the cancer, interestingly, the cancer has not stopped. But it's been stopped.
It's been stopped.
Tracked.
It hasn't gone.
It hasn't gone. It's still there. But it's just stopped. And he's able to it's quite stunning. So it's a kind of, he's careful about the words that he uses. Anyway, I think we were at C minor, weren't we?
Here we go.
You had me at C minor.
You had me at C minor. My funny Valentine, sweet comic Valentine, you make me smile with my heart. Your looks are laughable, unphotographable, yet you're my favorite work of art. Here's your figure, less green. Is your mouth a little weak when you open it to speak? Are you smart? But don't change your hair for me. Not if you care for me. Stay, little Valentine. Stay. Each day is Valentine's Day.
Is it less than Greek? Is your mouth a little weak when you open it to speak? Are you smart? Oh, but don't change it for me. Not if you care for me. Stay till Valentine. Stay. Day is Valentine. Each day you know it's Valentine's. Each day you know it's Valentine's. Each day you know it's Valentine's. Ooh. Each day is Valentine's Day.
It makes me smile.
That was awesome. You two deep diving into that one. You both got lost in it, didn't you?
Having a rummage about.
You might, yeah. Well, yes, it's a song that actually lends itself, doesn't it? It just gives itself to a kind of a moment of, the end can last for days.
Yeah. Some of those songs, they've sort of got something new to give every time.
Every
I've played them
time.
hundreds of times. Some songs are like,
Yeah.
I like sometimes you hear a pop song, you think I really like that, some kind of really gimmicky, cheap pop song, you think that's great for like the next
50 seconds.
Yeah. Or maybe a couple of weeks or something.
Yeah.
You really enjoy it. I'm
Yeah.
not gonna say. And then other songs that you think you listen to for a lifetime, and then songs that people are still listening to after 100 years, still selling, still recording. Jazz artists still doing that repertoire
Over and over and over again.
There's so much in there that you can rearrange.
Yeah. Well, I heard Al Jarreau the other day, a recording with Al Jarreau doing Summertime, and he did this kind of very famous jazz singer, and he did it with a young female artist who just won an award, and he did this kind of duet, and it's just keyboard and himself and the girl. And they went on a bit, as we were just doing, the Valentine's. But he's that. What do you do? You just kind of, how do you I don't know, you improvise because again, it's vocabulary. It's you've got notes in your head and you're thinking, well, let's try it down there and let's do the end, this that kind of thing. And as I was listening to you playing the solo, I thought, I've never heard you do many of those licks. They're very, very lovely. And actually trying to mix. One of my sadnesses is always not playing with people. That's the last year has been a. Have I played? I don't know.
Only in here.
Only in here.
Only
Yeah.
in here.
And so it.
What do you mean?
I'm always doing gigs on my own.
Oh, playing with other musicians.
Playing with other musicians.
Yes.
And so we had Phil here, the drummer Phil, and he's doing our bathroom. He came and did it, and he painted the Sistine Chapel up there. I think he did because he took quite a few months to do it.
Isn't he?
Yeah, he is, and he's absolutely phenomenal.
Blimey.
Phenomenal.
I bet it is. Can't
Yeah,
wait to see it later.
It's touch
We
and
do
God and all
charge
that
now.
kind
We
of stuff.
charge.
Yeah, we charge for viewings. That's the only way you're going to get the money back. So, but he was saying how much he misses it when he doesn't. We're meant to do ensemble. Somebody said this. We're meant to play together. We're not meant to just be on our own. I miss that about orchestras. I miss that about playing with bands and things. Just not having the interplay. So that you're your own, and Sue's very kind, but she says, it was a great gig tonight. I don't know whether it was or whether it was. She's nice to me, and all that kind of stuff, and the audience like it. But it's that thing where you want to have the ear of another musician going, try that. Or
Well, we talked about before, haven't we, the thing of when you get the opportunity to rehearse something a lot as well,
Yes.
with a band or
Yes.
with an orchestra,
Yeah.
and the music just comes together. And you touched on earlier the history. We've been working together for 15 years, 17
that
years,
can count.
and there's no sort of shortcuts with that thing. People that you've played with, rhythm sections that you play with over a period of years.
Yeah.
It's just like a comfortable slipper that you slip into when it's something that's
That goes.
gels
Yeah.
after playing with people a lot, subconsciously as well as consciously knowing they're playing. You can just predict what people are going to do. But I was just going to say, because I told you I went to see an opera the other day, Don Giovanni, and I was thinking of you because they've been doing it. It was at Glyndebourne, and the last time I went there was when I saw you doing Don Pasquale, the lead role there, and you gave me tickets, and Tracy and I came and we had virtually the same seats actually on the side, and but they were so together. I know they've been doing this opera during the summer festival, I think, so they've done it quite a lot.
Yeah.
And the orchestra were absolutely bang. I think there was one moment, like in 3 hours, where I thought I heard a slight tuning thing on the fiddle or something.
Yeah.
That was it. It was like absolute, and it's all
Perfection.
acoustic, so the sound is perfect. The balance of the orchestra and everything is absolutely amazing. And I was that thing, when you sort of say, well, you rehearse with an orchestra for
weeks
or months, and then you go and do the performances, and then every now and then there'll be a night when it's just absolutely everyone's on it.
Yeah.
And the music just comes together in this transcendent way because you've worked on it so hard, and everything's just right, and it falls into place. And that's
what you do it for.
That's what you're looking for all the time, isn't it?
You're aiming for that mountaintop. You don't always get. You might end up on the hillocks a little, but you don't get always the mountaintop. You get a few in your life, and you think that's a moment. But I think actually, if you can come close to it, I feel like there are moments when I've been close to that, and you know what I'm talking about. And you play with marvelous people who are always better than you. I always try and find people who are better than me. Don't find people who are worse than you to make yourself feel better. I try and go push the boundary. And those,
except for when you need a dep on a gig.
Yeah.
Then you always find someone slightly worse than you to put in. Yeah, a substitute. You need those ones as well.
You do need those.
Yeah, those ones are slightly worse.
We're going to do a song, and then I just want to talk to you about the jobs, the thing that you've been doing. Quite interesting stuff, actually, down in Brighton, and let's do Mary Did You Know? Should we do the Mary Did You Know? Because that's the one that a lot of people will know from the album Lockdown Sessions 3. And while you're getting that, so just to talk about these, because I think actually we would like to advertise our wares a little, if you don't mind.
We will. For those of you who are not giving Steve Legg's book to people, don't forget Jonathan's 2 books. They are wonderfully funny and thought-provoking and very quick and easy to read. So here we are, Finding My Voice, and the other one, which is On a Similar Note. And also lots of CDs available, not least of all the Christmas CDs. So we have got Oh Holy Night, and we've got this one from Lockdown Sessions. Well, these are 2 lovely Christmas albums. You won't need anything else if you've got those 2 in your collection.
They're both Mark and myself and many other great, fantastic
on there.
players.
And you can get them if you go on to www.jonathanveira.com, as it is at the bottom of the screen there. Thank you, Rachel. Go to the shop and you can order it. And there's a special offer on there at the moment that if you buy 2 books, you will get you can choose a CD to go with it, so and that's just £23 for that plus postage and package, but that is an amazing offer. So that's both books plus some kind of CD from our collection, and you just need to enter that in the shop, and I will send those out to you. I'll get Jonathan to sign them before we send them out. So do not forget JV merchandise for your Christmas shopping.
Presents, all your Christmas needs. And can we just say, this is a little thing that I just want to say to you on behalf of this. When I get people in the room, as you know, I always pay our musicians, because I get people from far and wide, very famous people who are not so famous, and people like Mark. And they are unique and wonderful people that I managed to get in here. And as you know, I pay them each week they come in. And so that comes out of the running costs for this show. And of course, as times have changed, and things have got very expensive, and this show costs a lot to run. And you kindly contributed last time when we asked for a lot of money, and we paid throughout this term. We've paid all of that money out in gifts to people for coming into the room, and also for running the piano. The piano's been needing tuning at least 4 times now, at £75 a shot. Everything needs paying for. So in the new year, well, we don't do it now at Christmas, but in the new year, if you've got a little bit of cash, just pay whatever you can afford, £5 or £10. If you all just pay that, then
you're not paying it. You're just making a donation to the running of the evening. That's
you're not paying
basically.
anything. You're not paying anything. So if you can, then that would help us to then
but not
be
if
able
you
to bless
can't,
people.
please, people.
No.
This is a free gift for you. So please do not pay something
so you do
if you
if
really
you can.
can't.
If you can't, then you can't, and we will manage somehow.
Can I just do one other notice at this point to say, sorry, Mark, all poised there, ready. Just to say that after tonight, the next evening that we'll be broadcasting will be on the 17th, when we have a beautiful carol service that we have put together with Rachel. And so that's on the 17th. So carols with JV from the Steinway room, available exclusively on YouTube. So we will obviously be putting the link up to that. But you will not find it on Facebook. It will be on YouTube.
So just say that again.
It will not be on Facebook. It will be on YouTube. So that's the 17th. But next weekend we are doing our last 2 Christmas gigs. We are in Campbellford on the Friday, and we're in Paignton on the Saturday. So 2 more opportunities for you to catch Jonathan singing these glorious Christmas songs before it all shuts up for Christmas.
Okay, why don't we do this lovely little song, Mary, did you know? Let's see where we go with this.
Mary, did you know that your baby boy would one day walk on water? Mary, did you know that your baby boy would save our sons and daughters? Did you know that your baby boy has come to make you new? This child that you deliver, one day deliver you. Mary, did you know that your baby boy will give sight to a blind man? Mary, did you know that your baby boy would calm the storm with his hand? Did you know that your baby boy has walked where angels trod? When you kiss your little baby, you kissed the face of God. Mary, did you know? Mary, did you know? The blind will see, the deaf will hear, the dead will live again. The lame will leap, the tongue will speak, the praises of the Lamb. Mary, did you know? Mary, did you know? did you know that your baby boy is Lord of all creation? Mary, did you know that your baby boy would one day rule the nations? Did you know that your baby boy is heaven's perfect lamb? The sleeping child you're holding is the great did you know?
Wow. Awesome. Awesome. On fire tonight, guys. Definitely.
Mark, tell us a bit. You've been doing all this, do a bit of production, you do recording for people, you do Katie Mellior, you play gigs, you play jazz, you play a lot of stuff. Also, you've been doing something very interesting, which has been quite an innovation for you and very new. Tell us a bit about that in Brighton, called the Common Rooms. Tell us what that means.
Yeah, that's a series of events which came out of a sort of group of friends, really, a discussion group that I had. There's sort of two elements to it. There's the spoken word thing, which came out of over a few years. This group of people we used to get together to talk through interesting subjects about things we're facing today and the world, changing things, that's spiritual things, stuff to do with just society in general. And we often would start with a podcast, or somebody would have something like a chapter of a book or a part of a book, something that inspired them. I mean, I'm sorry, I'm being a bit vague. Things like, something like surveillance capitalism, or what's going, stuff that's happening online, and issues that we're
having to deal with.
Yeah, facing gender
and
fluid,
people
things
don't
like that,
face.
and a really safe space for people to come and talk talk about this, and how it was, how they sort of square things with their sort of spirituality as well. And so there was that.
So it would be people of faith and people of no faith. Would that be?
Yes, exactly, absolutely. And we all kind of would recommend podcasts to each other. If somebody we found something really interesting, it could be to do with trees or nature or environment, or, as I say, something sort of technology, or any number of things. And we all sort of would kind of a bit of information junkies. I love hearing people's stories, like you. I love hearing stories. I love hearing people who are really passionate about something. So there was that aspect. We thought, well, we could open this up to be a kind of forum to invite speakers to come. And then there's the musical side of it, which is I really love playing acoustic music in beautiful spaces with instruments, with strings, or so we found a couple of venues with beautiful Steinway piano that were the right acoustic. So the idea was that people would come and they would hear someone talking about a subject they're an expert in, or hearing someone's life sort of story, and then there's a little break and people have some nice cake and wine or whatever, and then they would just sit and soak in music for an hour. Sometimes we don't really have applause or breaks in between the two. It might be continuous, sort of like meditative sort of thing. And we had some indie music, we had classical music, we had jazz things going on, and with the idea of people being able to come together and learn something, hear somebody speak, and just be together in a space, and really, I think music helps you to kind of process the information, but also just to sit and soak in music after you've taken in information is kind of a nice thing to do. Also, that impact of music, I think, being, if somebody sits with a violin and a cello 3 feet away from you and plays an absolutely gorgeous
resonance,
the impact of that, which we don't always have the opportunity. So these events, they're all in the round, they're kind of candlelit, everyone's very close together. And when I was sort of formulating this sort of idea with a few people, lots of people said to me, you should go for funding for this. So I'd never applied for funding for them. We did actually get support from Arts Council England, which was amazing to put on 7 events. We had people from different communities, addiction community, from like the criminal justice system, people who work using art therapy, disability, people representing LGBTQ, all sorts of different communities coming together, and a lot of it is about how art or environment or nature can actually influence and change people's lives. So there was quite an emphasis on that sort of well-being and mental health as well, it was a kind of. Some people expressed this as quite a unique thing because it brought together so many different things. Sometimes we had live art going on during the music. We had like authors, quite a few poets, eco-psychologists, dancers, all sorts of different people. It was it's just been a really beautiful,
a very different thing, a very different move for you, isn't it? Although you've always been a philosopher, you've had interesting ideas about lots of things. We often talked about them and discussed them, and you've often had a passion that I've often thought should have been born a Jew. That was, I think, you always loved your Jewish scriptures, and you loved the Hebrew text and all of that kind of stuff.
Very interested in the roots of different spirituality and where they come together and finding. I mean, that's what's called the common rooms, and a lot of it is about finding common ground. So also we have people with different faith traditions coming and talking about their practice and stuff. And so it's about finding commonality and just hearing somebody's story or life experience can break down all sorts of stereotypes and prejudice
and how we feel about people until we know them.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
always the way.
So that was a big part of it. We like this phrase, like-hearted rather than like-minded people. So, but yeah,
that's okay. Just stop. Nice. That's interesting.
I like that.
Now that's like-hearted rather than like-minded. So in other words, within the Christian tradition, I suppose we often assemble together. We're like Avengers assemble. We have this kind of if we all agree, then we're happy. If we all agree on everything, and there's a verse in the Bible that talks about itching ears. We love what our itching ears tell us. So we all go together and we'll go, amen, amen, and we call that sound doctrine. Now I often say that I was never like that. I was wanting to hear things and I would go, excuse me, that would be my adopted position was, excuse me, sorry, what do you mean by that? So explaining what we mean, because actually we take for granted what we mean, but when we come up against people, we rub up against people who are different from us and have a different aspect. They sit on a different hill of influence. I think always calls them.
I do.
Is that what you call?
Yeah,
sorry, explain what you mean by that.
That everyone's experience takes them into a particular position, and we've all got lots of experiences, so we're all on our own individual hills. And if we're not careful, we try shouting at other people on other hills, when actually the best way to deal with people or to talk to people is actually to come down off our hill slightly and to find common ground.
Which is what you're talking about.
Talk
absolutely,
more easily.
Yeah.
So,
I find that when you're in our job, sometimes in the studio or in a musical environment like that, it can be quite a sanctuary for people. They come into somewhere particularly in the studio, actually, recording things. For a period of time, you come into this sort of area,
incredibly close,
and you end up having sort of very deep conversations with people, and I've had some amazing conversations with people in that environment of different faith traditions and different practices and I would just find that we'd have great conversations, and that there was we were talking about a lot of the same things, maybe using different language sometimes, but
it's very interesting talking to Shelley. Do you remember Shelley, meeting Shelley?
Yeah.
Shelley Katz. And Shelley is he was my classical pianist. He recorded a number of albums with me. And absolutely, stonkingly talented and virtuosic player. He would play the Bach Goldberg variations, you know, just out of this world and something else. And a mind which is quite extraordinary again, his harmonic knowledge. But it's not just that. He has a mind that goes everywhere. Well, of course, he's Jewish, and during this time of Israel and Hamas and all of this that's going on right now, he needed to express how he felt as a non-Christian person, as a Jew, how he felt endangered, how he felt literally under threat in his home here in England. And I had to say to him that I had to reach out and just say, what does it feel like to be him? Not what does it feel like to be me telling him that it's okay, but for me to feel like him for a moment. So therefore I had to come down, as you say, off my hill and meet him. Where he was hurting and he was shouting and he was saying to me, do you understand what this feels like? And to be honest, I don't. Because he lost most of his family in Auschwitz, or one of the camps. And so he escaped, his parents, his grandparents escaped and went to Canada. And the reverberance is I didn't know he had something called an escape fund. What's an escape fund? We kind of said, what's an escape fund? He said, you're joking, aren't you? It's the money you have to have. They have to have just in case this happens again. So he's waiting for the next Holocaust. So when you put yourself into the position of somebody like that, and then you put yourself into the position of somebody standing in Gaza right now, okay? I heard a father who was protecting his 2 children, lost the wife. You have to stand by them. So I think actually we have to do more of this. Because if we don't, and if we just stick to our principled stand, whatever that is, and we don't get close to people, we draw alongside.
Yeah.
And that sounds like something you're attempting to do. Would that be?
Absolutely, yes.
Didn't you have one on Holocaust?
We did. One of the evenings is we did a theatre piece which I created about 6-7 years ago, which is based on the writings of Etty Hillesum, who's a really phenomenal writer, and she died in Auschwitz. And the production is her diaries interspersed with instrumental music, which I've written, and projections. But it's a one-woman show. We had a phenomenal actor called Colette Guitart doing it, who's just come out of a bunch of West End stuff. And Juliet, she was in, and Six, and Bat Out of Hell. It was an amazing honour to have her playing the part of it, or reading the diaries. And Etty is phenomenal because she came from a very difficult background, not particularly religious, but over a couple of years had this amazing spiritual awakening. In the most terrible circumstances, which was a total experience of the absolute beauty of this inner journey and connection with the divine. It was her message was of total non-violence. Just look at the problem in yourself. You can't have feelings of vengeance that will destroy you. And she was a psychologist, but she had this amazing spiritual awakening in the most difficult circumstances. And if you could be in the situation she was in and still be saying life is beautiful, love everybody, look for the humanity, even in the Gestapo officers who are shouting in your face, and she would look at them and say, well, what's gone on today? Is your girlfriend being nasty? Is your mother, something happened to your Mother's Day? What's going on here? And look for the humanity. And coupled with the fact that she was the most extraordinary writer, and she'd studied writing, and her mother was taught Russian literature. So you had these diaries which happened over 2 years, which are this inner journey in this extraordinary situation with. But that was really beautiful to do that again, and that is, she's someone who's very dear to my heart. And and during this whole period, I've got a few close sort of Jewish friends who I've been talking to about this stuff as well, and who've actually really come on board with that project. We had a wonderful lady, Lou Beckerman, who's down just outside Brighton, who sang the Song of the Dead, the Hebrew Song of the Dead for Etty at the end of the production. She did a couple of Hebrew songs during the production. But I've been spending some time with those people, and that's something that's very important to me.
Sounds like you've been living quite an extraordinary life. I have missed seeing you. I have to say that, but I'm very excited that you're doing what you're doing, and you're.
Well, it's nice to work on projects that you really
believe in.
Yeah, and this year for me a little treat to have a few things that have sort of come to fruition that are my own projects that I've instigated myself.
Yes,
which has been a real
really
treat.
Nice.
Yeah.
What's the time? I haven't got any idea.
It is 10:02.
Right, a couple of songs. We're going to go home.
Before the one that you are about to sing, whichever one that might be, I just want to dedicate whatever it is to our very good friend Jill Hatvarney, who is just a mere 70 years old on Thursday.
Why don't we do
so,
the Christmas
Jill,
song?
This one, whatever they choose to sing, is for you with our love and happy birthday. You do not look 70. And,
you certainly do not. You look about 84, so well done.
He's as rude as ever. And we'll see you on Wednesday for a celebration.
Okay, Chestnuts Roasting, I think. We'll do a couple of these songs and we're going to go, because it's time for Christmas. I don't even know where this one is, but I hope we'll...
You know it anyway.
Oh, I do. Go on, just do it. D flat. Dun, 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 dun. Chestnuts roasting on an open fire, Jack Frost nipping on your nose, Yuletide carols being sung by a choir, and folks dressed up like Eskimos. Everybody knows a turkey and some mistletoe help to make the season bright. Tiny tots with their eyes all aglow will find it hard to sleep tonight. They know the Santa's on his way. He's loaded lots of toys and goodies on his sleigh, and every mother's child is gonna smile to see if reindeer really know how to fly. So I'm offering this simple phrase to kids from 1 to 92. Although it's been said many times, many ways, Merry Christmas to you. Good luck with this. Lots of toys and goodies
on his sleigh, and every mother's child is gonna sigh to see if reindeer really know how to fly. And so I'm offering this simple phrase to kids from 1 to 92. Although it's been said many times, many ways, Merry Christmas, repeat it, Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas to you.
That's wonderful. And I also want to dedicate that to Colin Richards, who apparently is 60 on the 18th. So lots of significant birthdays in the next few weeks. But happy birthday, dear friend Colin, and enjoy getting your bus pass.
Exactly. Now, as we go, before we... Now, remember, don't forget, the 17th, now, I'm doing a carol service, a big carol service with massive choir and orchestra and things on that 17th. We're doing 2 of those on that day, so we won't be able to see you on that day live, but we will see you from a recorded carol service that we've done. We put an awful lot of work into this, and Rachel has done an immense amount of work doing. We've got a choir singing for you. We've got a special playwright reading a special sketch that he's written for such a time, Richard Everett, and we've got David Bracewell giving a little bit of a thought for Christmas, a great one coming home. We want you to join us on the 17th. That's on YouTube only, not on Facebook, on YouTube only. We wish you a very, very happy Christmas from Sue and I. Have you anything to say, Sue, before we finish?
No, just thank you for joining us again. Thank you for being part of this community for the last year. Thank you for coming into our very large Steinway room and being in our front room for the last year. We do appreciate it. So thank you for making the effort. And I haven't finished.
Oh, you haven't finished?
I haven't finished. And I also want to say that our love and our thoughts and our prayers go to all of you who are perhaps lonely, who are missing someone, if you're in pain, if you're bereaved. We know that there's been a lot of sadness going on in the community, and so we just want you to know that we're not forgetting you, because it's Christmas and there's lots going on, but that we're all thinking of you at this time as well. So have a happy Christmas, and we look forward to seeing you very soon.
Some of you will be...
Some of you next weekend.
Yes, doing the concerts, and also we'll be doing a couple of funerals that we may see many of you there, celebrating the lives of those that have passed in the last couple of weeks. Mark, it's been absolutely... it always is a delight having you in, and you've been a good friend to me over many years, and I'll never forget you phoning me in my bed in the hospital, and you said something.
You said choose life, actually.
You said choose life, and so, that I'll never forget, and I'm working a lot because you helped me to get my head together, and it's always lovely having you anywhere near me playing music. It's just fantastic. So thank you for being in.
Thank you for having me. It's always an absolute joy and miracle to see both of you every time I come back. I can't believe it's been a year.
No, I know. But, let's try and make it less.
Yes, it's always wonderful.
God bless you.
To hear you and to play with you.
Have a lovely time with the family, whatever you're doing, wherever you are.
Likewise, thank you.
And we'll try and, we're going to have 1 million people here. Why don't we just do it with a kind of, have yourself a merry little Christmas, finish this one off. And this one always at 9 o'clock at night on Christmas Day, when everything's done. Any other people writing in, Sue? No, that's it.
No, lots of people people writing in saying thank you, fabulous evening, so enjoyed it, awesome evening, just the superlatives all the way through.
All the way through, as usual. Have yourself a merry little Christmas.
Have yourself a merry little Christmas. Let your heart be light. From now on, our troubles will be out of sight. And have yourself a merry little Christmas. Make the Yuletide gay. From now on, our troubles will be miles away. Oh, here we are, as in olden days, happy golden days of yore. Faithful friends who are dear to us, gather near to us once more. And through the years we all will be together, if the fates allow. Hang a shining star upon the highest dawn. Have yourself a merry little Christmas now.
We do wish you a very, very happy Christmas this year. Whatever you're doing with the family or friends, and I encourage you to just go and look around, see who you can help this year. If somebody's on their own in the street, go and have a cup of tea with them Christmas Day. Do something that you can do to make a difference in their lives and bring people together. Here we are. Sing it with me. Here we are in olden days. Oh, here we are, as in the olden days, happy golden days of yore. The faithful friends who are dear to us, gather near to us once more. Through the years, we all will be together, if the fates allow. Hang a shining star upon the highest bough. A merry little Christmas now. Well, I think that's about it for us this year, and live JV from the live Steinway room. We thank you for joining us. We wish you all the best. We thank Mark Edwards. Give him a big round of applause and loads of hearts. There we go. Thank you, Mark. Love to the family. God bless you. And see you next year.